So you want to open up your own reptile zoo? I'm about to tell you how. And you guys know that I spent about $1.5 million to open up the Reptarium. Obviously, not everyone has that kind of money, but doesn't mean that you can't have your own reptile zoo. I'm going to show you what I think you really need and how you can potentially do it. You can certainly start small, but the one thing you're absolutely going to need is animals. So I'm going to give you a list of animals that I think are a must when it comes to a reptile zoo. The first one being a nice big snake like Sunrise. An albino bird is
perfect, by the way.
You can take out and actually have people around their neck or something like this. This is the education ambassador animal, and everyone needs their Brittany moment. Again, not everyone's going to be able to have an extravagant enclosure like Lucy's here that costs a lot of money, but I do think having a really giant python is a great thing. Even if you can't take that python out, just for people to come in and look and say, oh my gosh, there's a 20-foot snake. I mean, it is a game changer when it comes to getting people into the reptile zoo. Mike, what the heck are you doing?
I'm a gecko.
I think every reptile zoo definitely needs a tame monitor lizard. I really think that either a black throat monitor or like Elvis here, the Asian water monitor is the way to go. The big thing is to get a captive bred one. If you can get an F2, F3 generation out of the wild captive one, they become super tame and super habituated. Because listen, when you take out an animal like this and it's like a pet dinosaur, people really freak out. Elvis is definitely one of the animals that turns more heads when it comes to kids. They're like, oh my gosh.
It literally looks like a dinosaur.
And he's super, super docile. So definitely like an Asian water monitor or a black-throated monitor that's going to be super tame, big, and really impressive is an absolute must.
When you're opening up a zoo, if you're really determined, you have to have wet floors all the time. No drainage in any of the cages. You have to hand get all that stuff out. That was a really bad motion. All of your employees have to wear bright colors so it stands out.
Hazmat suits is preferable.
Yeah.
We just don't want any more viruses being spread.
True, but you could just put a mask on.
Safety's #1 option when it comes to opening a reptile zoo.
Well, I think #1 is actually the animals part, but...
And the wet floors.
Yeah.
Ball python. You gotta have a ball python, right? They're a nice, bigger size animal, but not too big that kids can't handle them. Helen here is amazing. Obviously, she's a no-eyed albino ball python. You're not gonna be able to get something like that, but any ball python is really amazing. It's gonna draw a lot of people in. You can definitely break that fear down with a ball python, right? Because they don't move fast. They're just absolutely amazing. Ball python's a must for any reptile zoo.
You know what else we need, Mike?
What?
Lots of lizards. Lizards that walk like this.
No. We need lizards that walk like this.
No. Lizards that walk like this.
On a completely different side note, guys, we actually launched this merch. You go over to reptilearmy.com. That's right, an entire danger noodle line. Again, think impressive animals. Animals that people are gonna come in and go, wow,
That is amazing.
Tegus are a great option, especially Argentines, whether it's black and white, blue Argentines, or red Argentines, or albinos, or whatever the case may be. They're just incredible. They'll walk around, kids can pet them. They're really cool. They're super social animals, and they're just really impressive. The largest lizard in South America, of course. You can usually train him to go back home on his own. Go back home, Terrence. Yeah, every zoo needs one of these. A friendly tarantula. I know tarantulas aren't for everybody. This happens to be a Brazilian black tarantula. You can get a rose hair, a red knee, whatever. You just gotta make sure that it's a mellow animal. But we have some tarantulas that people can look at as well that are really cool too. Tarantulas bring a lot of attention, and there's no doubt you need something that's really amazing. So get a tarantula wall. Hey, the more tarantulas, the better.
The desert part. The desert part's got to have, snow.
Desert's gotta have snow. Typically a camel or two.
The horses were in the desert.
Horses can go in a desert.
When you walk under the trees, there's got to be animals hanging from the trees, like monkeys, like stealing stuff out of people's purses, running back up in the trees.
Spider webs, real live spiders. You're gonna have an arachnid wall. Make it an arachnid environment. Just camel spiders in the desert area.
Again, everyone's going to have a different budget. You can start smaller if you want to, but if you can afford a cow reticulated python, it's an amazing animal. I mean, Perdita is one of the most popular snakes we've ever had. There's something about that like kind of white on a snake that makes people want to hold them, right? When you see a black and white snake or something that has that pattern, people are like, I want to hold it. We literally have people come in that are afraid of snakes that won't hold anything, but then when we pull Perdita out, they're like, I'll hold that one, even though she's a 10-foot snake. So definitely, if you can afford a cow, it's a great investment. But if you can't afford a cow reticulated python, because I realize, hey, we're trying to keep you guys on a budget, we want you to fulfill your dream of opening up your own reptile zoo, you can actually substitute for a piebald ball python. These guys are, like $400 or something like that, and they still have that white, they have that contrast. It's another snake that people look at and go, oh my gosh, I've got to hold that snake. And that's the whole idea, is getting people excited, whether they're holding it or even just looking at it through a cage. Not every reptile zoo you're able to hold things, right? You want to have animals that people are drawn to, so pies are a great option.
We get lizards that go backwards.
No. This is how you gotta get the lizard to walk.
Alright, I think it's time for ice cream.
Take a look at Bowser, the alligator snapping turtle. This is an impressive animal, you know, and again, this enclosure costs a lot. You don't have to spend this much money on an enclosure to have a really awesome enclosure for an alligator snapping turtle, but I'm telling you, I'm just giving you a list of the animals that we get the biggest oohs and ahs out of here when people come into the Reptarium. And the alligator snapper, everyone seems to love them, so if you can get one, go ahead and get one. And you guys have to meet the newest lizard that we brought here, the ice cream eating Tyrannosaurus Rex. Look at these little monkeys here. Of course, this is my alligator enclosure. Listen, an alligator is a really impressive animal. If you have the space, the time, look at these guys. Hey, what are you doing over here, buddy? Guys are so funny. And if you have an opportunity to work with maybe a Gatorland or another type of zoo that actually can give you small alligators, and then you can exchange them out when they get bigger, that's really cool. Because I always want to keep a bunch of small alligators on staff so that people can actually feed them and do stuff like that. Crocodilians as a whole is amazing. And alligators are definitely the puppy dog of the crocodile world. Get back in there, you silly monkey.
All right, guys, the other thing when opening up a zoo,
There's a few animals you have to have.
monkeys,
Spoon-billed ducks,
blue-footed boobies,
giraffes,
lions,
scuba strippers,
mermaids.
and a dodo bird.
No, you can't have that one. Birds stink.
No, they're extinct.
That's what I said. Instinct.
Makes sense?
Sure.
Definitely tortoises. The bigger, the better. And listen, not everyone can afford an Aldalbert tortoise because, of course, you know, they're thousands of dollars. I mean, something like Matilda might be $20,000, $25,000, so that's expensive. But hey, a sulcata can actually work, and they get relatively big. They get almost the size of Matilda right now, just a little bit smaller than that, and are super impressive. There's just something about tortoises that kids love and everyone loves, so have tortoises, there's no doubt about it. And if you can afford a big one, get a big one. You know everybody has to have a cool bearded dragon. The cooler the bearded dragon, the better the bearded dragon. Of course, Flamin' Hot Cheeto is an amazing animal. He's a great animal ambassador, so you can kind of start to see how I'm building out the zoo, right? I want things that are going to be huge attractions that are going to look really good, draw people's attention, whether you're having people hold it or they're just looking behind an enclosure. That's how you get started with a really successful reptile zoo.
Obviously, most important, no locks.
No locks on any enclosures. You do not want your animals to feel enclosed or trapped in their environment.
At least we can agree on that.
Obviously, Ben and Jerry is something that most people can't get. I mean, there's only a few of them in the world, so even if you wanted one, you really can't get one typically. The fact is, if you could find something that's really interesting, a little bit weird, a little bit of a draw, think about that. It might just be a really cool colored animal, whether it's a lizard or a snake, something that people are going to go like, oh my gosh, maybe it's a piebald ball python with a smiley emoji on it, so you can be like, oh my gosh, look at this ball python had a smiley emoji. So whatever your budget dictates, you can actually fill out. So you don't have to be rich to start a reptile zoo, you just have to be really innovative. Educational shows are super important to any reptile zoo because they bring in revenue. After all, you have to feed all your animals, you have to keep everything going, so bringing in revenue through birthday parties, tours, and any educational event is a huge part of making a reptile zoo successful. And as the money starts coming in from all your sources, you can actually upgrade and do better things. Hey, Reptarium 1.0, these enclosures didn't cost us a whole lot of money, to be honest with you. Then 2.0, we actually spent a ton of money, and of course 3.0 and 4.0, I guess, is going to cost even more money. So get that revenue stream going and build your dream reptile zoo.
No. Shore, like seashore.
Oh, we're having sharks.
No. It doesn't smell like farts.
It sounds like sharks.
You gotta have sharks.
And shells.
That's for sure.
Don't look at someone like me and think that you have to have a ton of money to fulfill your dreams, because that's not true. You know, my whole life I've been working towards this dream, right? The fact is that what you really need is passion. And of course, a lorry.
Yeah, without me, this place would fall apart.
Get creative. The more money you can save by doing things on your own, the better you're going to have a place. Remember when I built this water dish? This only cost me like $8. We got this bird's nest at a craft store, which is just easy. You know, these plants come from craft stores. Save yourself money, you know, try to do things as cool as you can. Make it look as cool as you can within your budget. Don't allow yourself to stop doing something just because you don't think you can afford it. And remember, if you build something really amazing, people are going to come. I promise you that.
I'm gonna come.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.
Hurry up. Hurry up, you can stay up here all day.